You know that feeling, that cold, sharp drop in your stomach when you know something is gone. Not just gone, but taken. I'm standing there, just staring at the empty concrete slab of my front porch. Nothing. Just a couple of wet leaves from last night's rain. And I swear my heart just stopped for 3 solid seconds because that box, it wasn't a new pair of headphones. It wasn't a book. Inside that box were 2 ultrafine HEPA filters and a vial of medication for my daughter's nebulizer. Her name is Lily. She's 8. And her lungs, they just don't work like yours and mine. I'm Cole. I'm an architectural model builder. I build tiny perfect worlds out of glue and balsa wood and foam core. I'd only been in this place, Harmony Creek, for 6 months. After everything else fell apart. The divorce. You know the drill. This apartment was supposed to be our fresh start. I just didn't. No, Harmony Creek came with a gatekeeper. Her name is Agnes Finch, and she had just stolen my daughter's medicine. Agnes wasn't just the HOA president. She was the founder of this entire, perfectly planned community. Everything had to be beige. The grass had to be exactly 2 inches. And Agnes, she didn't walk. She patrolled, always in this crisp gray pantsuit, always carrying a clipboard. And this smile, God, that smile. It never ever reached her eyes. Her eyes were just 2 cold little BBs. This wasn't the first time. Last week, it was an art kit I'd ordered for Lily. The week before, a special shipment of modeling supplies for my job. This time I was done. I hammered on my neighbor Milo's door. Milo's the tech guy, works from home, and the only guy around here who seemed real. He's got about 7 cameras pointed at his door. Milo, you see anything?
Around 2:47 p.m.?
He sighed, spun around in his office chair, and just clicked. Cole, man. I was gonna tell you. And there it was, on his 4K monitor. Agnes, clear as day. She walks up to my door, picks up the box, the one with the bright red medical supplies sticker, tucks it under her arm with her clipboard, and just keeps on walking, no hurry, like she was picking up the dry cleaning. This white-hot chemical rage just flooded my throat. I called the cops. 2 officers, Cates and Riley, showed up. They looked bored. I showed them the video. Officer Cates actually huffed, almost a laugh. Son, he called me son, you have any idea who Agnes Finch is? She practically founded this township. She's on every city committee. But she stole, or, Officer Riley cut in. She was securing community property from porch pirates. She's told us she holds at-risk packages at the community office for safekeeping. Maybe check there before you call 911 over a missing Amazon package. They didn't even file a report. They just left that night. I had to drive 2 hours into the city to find a 24-hour pharmacy that had the right filters. Lily was coughing in her sleep. And I promised myself, never again. I started watching her. Agnes wasn't just a thief. She was a methodical curator. She only targeted certain people. Me, the new divorced, unstable guy. Mrs. Gonzalez in Building C, the quiet widow. And the young Miller family. They'd just been cited for leaving a tricycle on their patio. She wasn't selling the stuff. I found my way into the HOA storage building. It was all there. My modeling supplies, the Miller's toys, a hand-knitted blanket from Mrs. Gonzalez. All filed, labeled like an evidence locker. She wasn't stealing for money. She was stealing for order. In Agnes's perfect beige world, we were the anomalies. We were the chaos. And our packages? They were clutter. She was tidying us up. And then, she went too far. Lily's birthday. I'd had a small wooden music box custom made. It had 2 little foxes carved on top. That was our thing. It took me 3 months to save for it. I came home. The porch was empty. My heart just shattered. That weekend, my ex-wife Sarah dropped Lily off. She ran in, her eyes all bright. Where's my fox box, Daddy? I tried to explain. It got lost in the mail, sweetie. I'll get another one. The look on her face. It wasn't anger. It was disappointment. It was the same look she gave me when I moved out. That night, Sarah called me. Her voice was ice. Cole, she cried the whole way home. I don't know what you're doing over there, but you promised. Maybe Lily should just stay with me full-time until you can get settled. Click. That was the sound of the last string inside me snapping. She hadn't just taken a box. She was taking my daughter. She was painting me as a failure. In my daughter's eyes, in my ex-wife's eyes. In my own eyes, the system had failed. The cops protected her. The HOA worshipped her. Fine, I went back to my workshop. Sat there among all my tiny, perfect buildings. I build worlds. I understand precision, I understand structure, and I understand how to make things collapse spectacularly. I didn't need a cop. I didn't need an HOA meeting. I needed an installation art piece. I started planning. I didn't research explosives. I'm not crazy. I researched something so much worse. For someone like Agnes, I researched dye, not just any dye. I'm talking industrial-grade, ultra-fine, hyperpigmented powder. The kind they use to permanently stain concrete. The kind that once it touches a surface, it never comes out. I engineered 3 traps. I used materials from my shop. High-density foam panels, tension springs, microfilament fishing line. The mechanism was simple but flawless. It wouldn't trigger when the box was lifted. No, it would only trigger when the lid was opened. I prepared 3 packages. Box 1, a dummy box for a high-end camera lens, perfect for her community surveillance team. I filled it with neon yellow. Box 2, a large box marked legal documents eviction notice, to trigger her need to know to see who was being kicked out of her paradise. This one was full of sea breeze teal. Box 3, the last one. It was the exact size, the exact weight, down to the gram, of Lily's music box. This was the personal one, and inside it was a deep, vibrant crimson red. I placed them on a Tuesday afternoon, right on my empty porch, right under Milo's camera, and I waited. A beat, a small grim smile in the voice. 15 p.m., on the dot. She came around the corner. Same beige suit, same clipboard. She saw the 3 boxes. I could see, even on Milo's feed, that tiny, imperceptible frown. She looked around, empty, and then almost a put-upon sigh. She picked up all 3. She didn't take them to the HOA office. Nope. She took them straight home. Agnes Finch's house. It was her fortress. A perfect colonial with a perfect lawn, and I just knew. Everything inside was white. Sterile. The color of control. Milo and I sat in his dark apartment, lit only by the glow of the monitors. We didn't talk, we just watched. 6 p.m. The sun went down. The lights in Agnes's living room clicked on. Big bay window and we had a clear view. Yep, just as I thought. White carpet, white sofas, everything white. She walked into frame holding a box cutter. 47 p.m. She slit the tape on box 1. The camera lens. She lifted the lid. It wasn't an explosion. It was a bloom. A silent, incredibly violent cloud of neon yellow blossomed upwards. It hit her square in the face. It coated the pantsuit, the white sofa, the cream-colored Persian rug. We watched her stumble back, gagging. She was waving her hands in the air, which was now thick with gold dust. She looked confused, horrified. She stood there for a full minute, breathing hard. Then the anger took over. She must have thought it was an accident. A prank. She turned to box 2. The legal documents. She tore this one open, angry now. And, whoosh, sea breeze teal, it erupted. It mixed with the yellow, turning her white sofa into some kind of nightmarish abstract art piece. Her hair, which was always in a perfect tight bun, now looked like a moldy bird's nest. Now she was screaming. We could see it, and then
she saw it.
The 3rd box, the small, unassuming one, the one for Lily. By now it wasn't curiosity. It was pure, unadulterated rage. She thought I had done this. She thought I was the one attacking. She grabbed that box like she wanted to crush it. She ripped the lid off. The final cloud, crimson red, it enveloped her. When the dust settled, she was standing in the middle of her ruined white room. And she looked like she had just stepped out of a horror movie. Her front door flew open. Agnes Finch, the queen of order, the matron of harmony, stumbled onto her front steps, into the glow of the porch light. She wasn't beige or gray anymore. She was a hideous, dripping rainbow. Her hair was matted with teal. Her face was a map of yellow and red, with 2 white, terrified circles where her eyes had been. She opened her mouth to scream, and a puff of red dust came out. And that's when the neighbors started coming out. Porch lights clicked on. Phones came up. The silence of Harmony Creek was broken by a giggle, then a full laugh, then an uncontrollable wave of howling laughter. Agnes's little play was over. The curtain had been pulled. The queen was naked and she was stained. The cops came. Cates and Riley. This time they weren't smiling. They looked at her. They looked past her, through the open door into the desecrated white room. And then, they saw the other boxes, the dozens of other packages, our stolen packages stacked neatly in her hallway. It didn't end like you think. There was no dramatic arrest that night. No perp walk. She didn't go to jail. Oh no. It was messier than that, Agnes. She was smart. She couldn't sue me for the dye bomb, because how would she explain why she was opening my mail in her living room? But she wasn't arrested for theft either. She claimed a compulsive hoarding disorder, that she was protecting community assets. Her lawyers turned it into a mental health issue, not a criminal one. That video, it went everywhere. Rainbow Karen, they called her. But here's the thing, I won the battle. My packages and everyone else's stopped disappearing. The HOA was forced into an emergency meeting. Agnes had to step down for health reasons, but I didn't win the war. Harmony Creek split right down the middle. Half the community, the renters, the Millers, Mrs. Gonzalez, the imperfects, they see me as a hero. They leave six-packs on my doorstep, but the other half, the longtime owners, the ones who like the beige order, they look at me like I'm a monster. I didn't just expose Agnes. I had destroyed their harmony. I brought chaos, the very thing Agnes was trying to keep out, right to their front doors. I made their perfect little town an internet punchline, and they will never forgive me for that. I still live here. Lily got her music box, I built her a new one. My ex-wife, she understood. She saw what I did. We're better, but Agnes, she still lives here too, right in that house. I hear they could never get the stains out of the carpet. Sometimes I see her getting her mail. Her hair, there's still this one permanent faint pink streak right at her temple, where the dye set too deep. She doesn't wear beige anymore, and when she sees me, she doesn't do that dead-eyed smile. She just looks at me. This cold, blank, and almost knowing look. I protected my daughter. I got my justice the only way I could, but I also became the villain in someone else's story. I became the chaos in their order, so I guess the question I still ask myself every night, when I hear Lily's nebulizer humming in her bedroom, I did the right thing, right?